Libations. Well, I'm really excited for this month's drink.
Me too.
Yeah.
What's it called, Kelsey?
So today I'm going to be making a Nigerian Chapman, which is usually served as a mocktail, and that's how we're going to do it today. So we're going to start out with grenadine. It's a quite sweet drink, so it's going to be 3 to 4 tablespoons each.
Wow. Maybe let's err on the side of 3.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 3.
Woo! I was reading you can also use blackcurrant cordial as well, which is nice.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Obviously, grenadine is easier to find in just normal grocery stores.
Yeah. And I will say that the Fanta is European Fanta.
Yes.
So I think it actually has orange juice in it, as opposed to, you know.
And usually they're on the less sweet side.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're using Angostura bitters. So the bitters will offset the sweetness of the grenadine because they have the main bitters in them. So it's going to be 1/8 of a teaspoon for each.
Based on that amount, it looks like you just kind of, shake it a couple.
Yep, shake it a couple times. All right, so we're going to put in the ice cubes, and these are made from leftover Sprite.
That's so fun.
1 can each.
I will say that I guess these are traditionally served in glass beer mugs.
Oh.
So like maybe they're using very large.
The big ones.
Yeah, the big ones.
Okay, so now we have the Fanta in, and I'm just going to top it off with the Sprite, even though the recipe says 1.5 cups for each, just because of the size of the glasses.
When does the cucumber go?
That's the garnish.
Oh.
So I'm just going to top it off.
And we have the ice cubes.
Right, which
so.
are made of Sprite, so that'll help with the amount.
It is pretty. What do you have to say?
Grenadine is really good for layering if you want that type of gradient in the drink. So last, I'm going to move these out of the way so I don't spill. I'm going to be cutting up some cucumber, lime, and lemon. You're always supposed to roll the lemons and limes before you cut them to get the juices going.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yep. So we're going to squeeze a bit in each. Just barely fit.
Yes.
Wow.
Some cucumber, some lime.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Nice.
The Nigerian Chapman mocktail.
Beautiful.
I'm excited.
Very nice.
Take it down, pass it around.
Cool.
Oh, wow, that is so full.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
Oh my gosh.
Me either. Clearly.
So citrusy.
In this month's kit, you will receive the recipe for a Nigerian Chapman, a bookmark featuring a fun fact from Corday, and the supplies to make a super simple feminist embroidery project.
Let's talk about My Sister the Serial Killer.
Well, I've said this to you both already, but this is officially my favorite book that we've read for this program.
I think I agree.
Yeah.
Me too. And it's the shortest, I think, that we've read as well.
Well, I knew nothing about the author until I read it. So then after I read it, I looked her up. And I didn't realize that she was a poet.
Yeah.
So it totally makes sense why the book is written the way it is, because the language is very tight and tense. It's the perfect format for that style. I don't know. I felt like I was speeding towards the end because I was like, I need to know what's happening, and it was so quick. And
I loved how short the chapters were.
I feel like that's easier to it helps the speeding up process. The feeling of speeding up. As soon as you start reading it, you can't put it down. Because it's that fast-paced feeling that you just want to know.
Yeah. I felt like each chapter was like a flash. I almost felt like they were like, it was like chapter.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I was getting.
Well, and
maybe that's weird.
No.
they do have flashbacks, several flashbacks. So that's kind of a good comparison.
Literally and figuratively. I just loved how each chapter, I mean, you could put it down and come back and you could just read them individually. And it was just, I don't know. It's like a story within a story, I guess. It was really cool.
And you read it, and we listened to it. Did you listen to it?
Yes, I listened to the audio.
Did you like the audio?
I thought it added another layer of authenticity because the narrator, I don't know if she is Nigerian or if she was just using a Nigerian accent.
So
It puts you even further into the story because she's so, the accenting and the way she speaks is quite gripping in and of itself. I think I'd also like to hear the author read it too.
I love it when authors read their own works.
Yeah.
How about the sibling? What did you think about like all the sibling relationships in the book?
Frustrating.
Yes.
Somewhat understandable,
Yeah.
but for me it was frustrating overall.
Yeah. But I liked the use of so many sibling pairs throughout, like the father and the aunt, Mutar and his brother, the two sisters, obviously. I just thought there were so many different types of siblings. I don't know, there was always this imbalance. I felt like in all the relationships. There was a lot of like power struggle or like fighting in every relationship. And it always came back to like the other person's perception. You know what I'm saying?
I think so.
Explain.
Well, it's just like Corday is always thinking about how the world perceives her sister and how that's so different from her own perception of her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like with the father and the aunt, after his death, she was like, I wondered what her reasoning was behind this, but she was like, he deserves more, he deserved better, he deserves this. Like, why aren't you doing that? Like, she was so fighting for him. Like, even after he died, even though he was like a really bad dude. So it was like her perception of him. So did she actually know what he was like, or was it the way she perceived him? And then like the whole Mutara thing being in the coma, and how the perception of the brother may have changed because he was so absent for so long. I don't know, I just found all these like really interesting sibling relationships, and I was trying to draw connections to them. I don't think I ever really did, but I liked how the author used them all in the story.
That's interesting. I really only thought about obviously the main pair, Corday and
Right.
Layla, and maybe the aunt and their father. I mean, the aunt was the older sibling, I believe.
I think
So
you're right.
It makes sense that she wanted to protect, like Corday, wanted to protect Ayla.
I drew a lot of parallels between father and the aunt and Corday and Iola. Yeah, the aunt, older sibling, Corday, the older sibling. Iola, the serial killer, and I don't even think they said his name, but the father
It's
being so
Yeah, you're right.
hateful and abusive,
Mhm.
and not ever atoning for his actions.
Right.
Because of perception. Yeah, I found a lot of parallels between Iola and her father because, simply because of the perception. Is like you had said, the aunt with the 10-year anniversary, I think it was, of her father's passing, wanted to throw this big party because he deserved it. He was such a good man.
Right.
And like when Iola would bring a man home, and they would say, "Oh, your father's such a cool guy," when in reality he was such a horrible person. And then with Iola, everyone thinks she's amazing, pretty face, but Corday knows the truth.
Yeah.
Because perception.
But can I just say that I think Corday, like, she knows who Ayla is. I'm just completely ignoring you. But I think she kind of has some illusions about her as well. So it's not totally rooted in reality, I guess.
Yeah.
And she's so, like, her sole purpose in life, essentially, is to protect Ayla. And so sometimes I think that, I don't know, she doesn't see things clearly when it comes to her. Like, she's responsible for her actions. So it's her fault that, I don't know.
Well, can I ask about the ending then?
Sure.
Well, not really the ending. It was like the middle, but where we find out, like the spoiler alert. But like, did they kill the dad? Did Corday kill the dad? Did Aola like learn from Corday that in order to protect yourself?
Right.
Like, do you know what I'm saying?
That's how I interpreted it. Like, that was
Absolutely.
the first death, I guess. That was the first kill.
Right.
Which kind of set things in motion. That was my interpretation.
Well, I have questions about this though.
Okay.
So, like, the first kill, was it Coraday's kill? Because she lists the victims in the chapters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we start out with number 3.
Mm-hmm.
So there were 2 previous ones that we learn about later on. And then there's the Dubai guy, but I can't remember his name. And then it ends with number 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, we know who her 5 are. So, is that Coraday's kill then? Do you know what I'm saying? Or did he have a heart attack before? You know what I mean? Like,
Interesting.
Yeah.
and then I have another question about the end.
Oh, yeah.
But that goes along with this. But do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I agree, like I interpreted like the big reveal, part of the big reveal was that Coraday killed the father. And the mother was like off
She was sleeping.
pretending like she
Yeah.
didn't know what was going on,
Yeah.
and then, oh, he had a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the story.
Again, perception, outside perception versus
Yeah.
inside perception.
Yeah, keeping up with appearances.
Mhm.
Is
Oh
really
my
good.
god, that's
I
huge.
mean, that was one of the reasons for the 10-year party, right?
Right.
Spending all this
That's
money.
the only
and,
reason they did it.
yeah.
Well, and is it part of their class too? Because they were, I mean, you could definitely tell they were upper class, right?
Yeah. And Isla knows her. She, like, understands and uses her
Oh,
power, too.
absolutely.
Like, she knows what she's got,
Mm-hmm.
which I found really interesting.
But she was also almost, except I think for the father, she was almost never told no in her entire life. So
Right.
there's also, it's pretty privileged, but also she was never told no because of her beauty.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So they're very much intertwined.
But then it makes you wonder, like, her actions. Like, she can be so aware of the situation. Like, oh, I killed him because he was coming at me and he was going to attack me and blah, blah, blah. But then to be so oblivious, like, just living on with her life.
Mhm.
Is that, like, a psychopathic thing, do you think?
See, I didn't buy her explanation
No.
at all.
Like, from the beginning, or, like,
Well, as we got to get to know her better, I didn't buy that she was.
so you think she's a psychopath?
I don't want to diagnose.
We're not doctors, we cannot diagnose mental states. But
Well, I think she inherits those traits from her father.
True. Because she seems very, like, heartless.
Well, and that's one of the things I really enjoy is it's so rare to see women
Mm.
in any kind of, I don't know that I would call this a crime thriller, but it's usually the man who's behaving this way.
Yeah.
Just like killing for the sake of killing or
Yeah.
for the thrill.
Well, you think of Dexter.
Yeah.
Like, I thought very much like Dexter,
Yeah.
like, completely removed from the emotion of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it happened. But she does show fear in calling Coraday. I mean, like, you have to deal with this, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I definitely thought a lot about Dexter while I was reading it.
Yeah.
It's
But there was
like-
no remorse.
it's like her
No.
calling Corday is a moment of clarity in her dismissive nature the rest of it. Because I see her more as dismissive rather than oblivious. Because oblivious adds some element of
Like, why do you think that is? Aside from being, like, a protective older sibling.
Yeah, this is an extreme version.
Right?
of that. Yeah, like how far would you go?
just as Aola was never told no in her life, Corday was always told you have to protect Aola. That
So
is
you
your-
think that's what it
that
was?
is your
It's
job,
just that, like,
that is your
drilling.
purpose. I think that
And her beauty.
I think that if you grow up being told something every day of your life that you always need to protect Aola, you always need to protect Aola, that's just going to be your instinct.
Well, even when she was a child, she mentioned how she had had a hard couple of years early on in school with the boys giving her crap. And she's like, I'm going to protect my sister. And of course, she, just basically got asked out a million times. So she didn't have the same experience. But even at a young age.
Like, there's the part in the book where her father beats Aola with a cane,
Mm-hmm.
and Corday steps up and takes her hand because she is protecting her as much as she can from her. It's not standing up to her father, but it's protecting her. Right?
Yeah. And I forgot about the chapter. I think it's called Doll or something, where, like, Iola has just been born. And her mom is like, you always have to protect her.
Yeah.
So it's just always been ingrained in her to do so.
Yeah, Corday thought she was a baby doll.
I'm also curious, like, about it being set in, Nigeria.
Well, I love how she just threw things in there.
Yeah.
She didn't really need to offer any explanation either. It just kind of all fit together.
It was natural.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you think the symbolism was behind her burning Mutar's number, and who do you think number 5 is?
I thought number 5 was just the next guy.
Very open-ended.
But yes.
Because she got away with it, it could be anybody. But with Mutar's, she made the mistake, as she saw it, of talking to him while he was in a coma. So burning his number is like a I'm always going to protect Aola. I'm never going to talk about it with anyone again, like I did with him, so I'm cutting him off.
Yeah, I just completely cut off any chance that she would put herself first or confide in somebody. She was always going to choose her.
Mhm. That's what I felt like at first, like when I finished reading the book.
Mhm.
And then I kept thinking about it, and do you think that number 5 was Mutar? Or do you think that she killed Mutar?
I don't know, because I don't. You mean Aola?
No,
Corday.
Corday. And she burnt his number to be like, he never...
Yeah, I don't think so.
I know, at first I didn't, and then I was thinking about it
But
later, and I
I
was like,
like that. I like where you're going.
It's an
Could it be?
intriguing prospect because he's never heard from again.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
or in the story.
It's so open-ended, and I when I first
Yeah.
read it, I was like, the same thing. It made me really, like, I felt like the burning of the number was really sad. Because it was like she just gave up on happiness completely. And when she walks down the stairs, it was like, okay, this is the next guy. And she's like resigned to that. So that's what I thought at first too. But I don't know why, I just couldn't stop thinking about, like, when after we find out that Corday killed their father, actually, if you're thinking that, yeah, to continue to protect her sister, she would have to get rid of
the one.
anyone who would know anything about it.
It's
And Tade is in jail. So he's dealt with. And then, like, she kind of, like, smiles when she goes down the stairs to see the number 5.
Mhm.
So could it be Mutar? I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's the whole. I mean, everything about this is open-ended.
I know, that's why
your
I,
own
like, love it.
interpretation.
I loved the ending. And I hated it. It was so sad. But I also, like, I don't know, I'm still
It
thinking
was
about
perfect,
it.
right?
Which is, like, such a great book. Because we're still talking about it. Oh my god.
You think of the fact that Corday may have killed her father, then she has the capability, which points to, like, genetics. Like, they say, what is it they say? Like, at birth, they had no chance with serial killers because of genetics in some cases. Maybe preposition for serial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Okay, so this is what I think.
Okay.
And I don't know. I have no idea. But, like, this is the only reason why I think what I think. So, she lights the candle, and she says, there will never be another Mutar. I know this. There will never be another opportunity to confess my sins or another chance to absolve myself of the crimes of the past or the future. They disappear with the curly paper because Aola needs me. She needs me more than I need untainted hands. And I don't know why that is, like, sticking out to me as a, like, there will never be another Mutar.
The part about
Is he okay?
Yeah, that's
is interesting because for the entirety of the story, she's known as, like, the cleanup. And, like, with bleach, like, wiping away everything.
erasing.
Which, you're convincing me, Jacqueline.
But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's not necessarily number 5. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying I don't know.
She also smiles back because of, again, perception and outside influence. And she was, you know, protecting. Aol is perfect. And that's it.
Mm-hmm. If you're trying to find one,
I feel worse for Corday than I do for him. He deserved it. Well, maybe not. Maybe a little.
Vicious.
So dumb.
He was dumb. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the men are idiots in this book.
Honestly,
Except for Mutar.
Right. But he could be dead.
she killed the one guy who's not an idiot.
I don't know. My first impression was completely with you guys. What happened to Mutar? Keeps me up at night.
No, he was good, so he lived. That's
I like it. We have to have some optimism
Yeah.
in such a dismal ending.
like all the horrible men got what they deserved, and he lived.
I like it. It was very well done.
Yeah. We hope you enjoyed this month's video. Thanks for watching.